Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hey everybody, it's Anita, back again with another podcast episode. So, thank you so much for joining me here on the Better Love Movement podcast. And we are in episode number 133 this week. And I believe it's a good one. It is something that I've been talking to several of my clients about. And I actually talked to another client about this today. It is the importance of lifestyle when choosing a man. One of the things that I hope my book, Choose Well, A Simple Formula to Determine the Best Man for You. One of the things I hope that book teaches you is that we cannot be directed or we cannot just follow our feelings, right? That book is teaching you that you have to have a plan. You have to have a blueprint. You have to have your 3 lists. You have to have your boundaries list and your standards list. It's really important that we're not just following our feelings, that we are also using our brains. We're also using our logic, our rational mind when making a decision when it comes to a man. And so this is one of the biggest things that I see trip people up time and time again. It has tripped me up at one point in time where I overlooked the importance of our lifestyles being very, very different. And why is that? Because we believe that if we both love each other, if it feels good, even if he's a great guy, right? I have met, especially recently in the last year, I have been out on lots and lots of dates. I've met some really great men. However, one of the things that kept me from moving forward with them was we had very different lifestyles, or we want very different lifestyles. So let me give you a couple of examples, and perhaps you can relate to this. So things like having children, the ages of those children, things like a man who is incredibly extroverted and he wants to go out 3-4 times a week and you're very introverted. Things like you being very active, dating a man who is very inactive, a man who doesn't eat well, who doesn't take care of himself, who doesn't, move around. But you are a very fit woman. You eat well. Maybe you're a vegetarian. You're doing everything to take really good care of yourself. But he is not. Perhaps you are a person of faith, and you like to go to church. You like to read your Bible. You like to pray in the morning or at night. And he is an atheist. Or how about this one? And this has happened to me a couple of times where a man says, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I believe in Jesus. And, sure, I go to church here and there, or I go to church on Easter and on New Year's Eve and, the Christmas or whatever, And so I'm thinking, okay, we're the same, right? We have the same beliefs, but here's the difference. So I am a person of faith. I'm a Christian, and I am allowing that to dictate like the things I do, how I move in the world, how I treat people. I'm going to church. I am daily listening to a sermon, or I'm doing a devotional. Like that's woven in the fabric of who I am. And as I get to know this gentleman, I find out, yeah, not so much. Okay. So let me give you a couple of examples that have come up in the last few weeks. And again, some of these ladies are going to have to start again from a drawing board. And I've told them, I want you to go back to the book. I want you to put things on the don't want list in relation to lifestyle. So one of my clients met a man and was dating him, and it got serious, and they moved in together. And when she was dating him, so when she had first met him and was dating him, it was her understanding that he was an occasional marijuana smoker. Oh yeah, every now and again, I like to have a joint. Every now and again, not a big deal, right? Now she's a, anti-smoker, anti-marijuana smoker. But what does she do? She overlooked this and thought, well, it's probably not that bad. It's here and there. So when they moved in together, she had him agree that he would not smoke in the house and would not smoke outside of the house. So you can smoke it when you're with your friends or smoke it, somewhere else. But I just don't want to see it or smell it. And, if it's every now and again, what's the big deal, right? Okay, so it is 3 or 4 years later. And one, she finds out that he's pretty much smoking every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And 2, he has broken the agreement that they've had, that he will not smoke in the house or outside of the house. And so now, they're breaking up because she just can't take it. She can't tolerate this smoking of marijuana. That is a perfect example of lifestyles being very, very different. This is why it is so, so important that before our feelings are invested, before our heart is invested in this, that we do our homework. And while I believe, she asked the right question, she got the right answer. For some reason, she did not allow that answer to dictate what she would do moving forward. She rationalized that answer. And we do that. I've done it before. But we've got to mature out of that. We've got to learn how to early on, when a man gives us an answer and it doesn't fit our lifestyle, it doesn't fit us, we've got to say pass. We've got to say pass. Okay, another example. So another client of mine who newly divorced and, has children and met a man who happens to live out of town, and I'm talking several states over, and they got into a relationship. And she knew that he was also a divorced father. He had 4 children. He has 4 children. And, again, at the time, this feels good. He's a really great guy. It's hard to pass that up. We're having this long distance relationship. So some of the details of his life really don't matter because he's not here in my state. He's not living with me. He's not here. So it really doesn't matter, right? Okay. So we're going to date. A year goes by. And one, there's really no plan or goal for the dating. So he starts to think, okay, well, what's our plan long term? Like this, is kind of getting old, us visiting each other like this once a month, this is kind of getting old. What's our plan long term? And so now she's thinking, well, his children are younger than mine. He has 4 children. I have 2 children. That's a lot of children, So now she's starting to kind of think about all these things that she didn't think about in the beginning. She's starting to think about these things like, I don't know, is this a good fit? So, once again, that might be a lifestyle difference, to say, I'm used to my 2 kids, but I don't know about having 6 kids. I don't know about having 6 kids all in the house together. Like that might be a little bit too much for me. But these are things we have to think about. And the same with the distance. I've always told you all, I'm not a fan of long distance relationships. I've only attempted to have one, and that blew up. And that was almost 30 years ago. Yeah, that was 33 years ago. I had my one and only long distance relationship. That blew up. that taught me every lesson I need to learn about long distance relationships. One, quality time is my love language. So I need my person with me. I need them in the house with me. I need them beside me in the same city as me. I need to be able to get in my car and drive to them at any given time. That's just what I personally need. Two, I don't even like traveling, like traveling, right? And then three, I'm thinking about the financial cost of all that traveling. So I have a travel budget each year, and that travel budget is for fun. That's for fun travel. That's not for New Jersey travel. Like I wouldn't consider that fun, that all my travel budget is being used up to go to New Jersey or to go to Texas or to go to, Arizona, some place that isn't exotic that I'm really looking forward to going. Like, no, that's kind of not my thing. So, lots of reasons why I don't do long distance relationships, and don't even get me started on, just the level of understanding you have to have, right? So it's already, we're not in the same city. We're not in the same town. I can't drive to you. You can't drive to me. There's a level of trust, man, it's just too much. It's too much for me to think about. So I'm not a big fan of the long distance relationship. And eventually it gets old, it gets tired. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Are you moving to me? Am I moving to you? Is this becoming something serious? And guess what? Then you do have to think about lifestyle. Now, in the beginning, you didn't have to think about lifestyle because you're thinking, oh, he lives in New Jersey and I live here. But if it's going to be something, you're already deep in this thing. You're already invested. And it's almost like I want to do my homework too late, right? I want to try to turn in a paper 2 weeks too late. It's too late. Like, it's too late. You got to do it before it's due. And that's what I'm seeing ladies doing. They're trying to go back. And now let me see what the situation is. Let me see how many kids. Let me see what the ex-wife is like. Let me see this. Let me see that. It's too late because you're already invested or in love or, oh, this is, I want to be with this guy. But then you're going to find out things that just don't fit together with you. They're not a good fit. That's why we've got to do our homework in the beginning. Before it's due, we have to do it. And so here's what I know for a fact, ladies. You do your homework in the first 3 months and you find out something that's like, I don't want that. Okay. Then you're not in love. You're not in love. You can walk away. Even if he's a great man, even if he's, a good looking guy or has a lot of the traits that you want. The bottom line is, from a rational, logical perspective, this is not a good fit. This is not something that long term is going to make you happy, is going to contribute to your happiness. So yes, you have to say pass. I had that just recently happen to me. Dated a great guy. He has a 4-year-old. And I thought, man, this guy is amazing. We have so much in common. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. However, he has a 4-year-old, and that is a lifestyle that at this age, I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in parenting or co-parenting or step parenting a child from 4 to 18, 21, 20, however, I'm just not. That's a whole different lifestyle. I had a game night the other night, and it was interesting because one of the guests was trying to describe a word, and they used like a kid's show to describe that word. And I didn't even know what the kid's show was. Like, I was like, I never even heard of that, But thankfully, there was another lady there who was a grandmother. And so she's like, yeah, my grandkids watch that show. So she knew what he was talking about. But I didn't. I have not looked at child, like kiddie television in 10 years, So, and I don't want to, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to know about all the kiddie shows. I don't want to, that's just a decision that I've made for myself. And you're allowed to do that. You are allowed to make a decision for yourself. You're allowed to say, I don't want to change diapers. I don't want to teach a child how to use the potty. I don't want to, go back in time and do those things again. Like, you can say that. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't, no. That just, to me, it makes you a smart person. You have to know this stuff about yourself so that you don't get in situations where now you're, co-parenting a 4-year-old and you're frustrated. You can't really move how you want to move, or you and the man are just, you're bumping heads about it. No, I want you to be honest with yourself and be honest with him. And I have been honest. I'm like, that doesn't work for me. For me, here's some of the lifestyle similarities that I need. I am a very fit person. Like, that's who I am. Everything about me says, I can take the stairs. I like walking. I am just a very fit person. I don't mind being outside. That's a lifestyle for me. I'm going to work out 3 or 4 times a week. I'm going to walk every day. That's who I am. So I am not a good fit for someone who is sedentary, for someone who drinks too much, smokes cigarettes, smokes cigars, smokes marijuana. See, those are not things that are in my world at all. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't use any illicit substances. Like, we would not be a good fit for each other. And neither one of us is wrong in our choice. Like, he is entitled to do those things. I had a gentleman on Hinge just maybe 2 months ago. Great guy. It seemed like we had a lot in common. We didn't even get past just messaging on the app because he was talking to me about he was a cigar aficionado. Oh, and I just have to be honest because I know everybody's not cool about it, but I am a cigar aficionado. I like to smoke cigars. I said, well, how often are we talking? He's like, every night. And I was like, no, not a good fit. And see, that was easy for me to say, no matter how fine he was or how, it seemed like based on his profile, we were a good fit. I'm not in love with him. I don't feel any kind of way about telling him no, thank you. And so that's why we got to do this in the first month, the first 2 months, the first 3 months before you have sex. Okay. Before you have sex, you need to get to know everything you need to know so that you are not going to rationalize or make excuses for this person's thing. No, you have to see it for what it is and say, yeah, we're just not a good fit. That's not something, I want to deal with. So I wish you the best, but yeah, I'm really looking for a non-smoker, a non-drug user. I don't necessarily ask that men don't drink, but definitely if I go out with you a few times and I see you throwing more than a few drinks back, that's going to, let me know, yeah, this is not a good fit. I don't drink at all. I don't mind if you socially drink here or there. But if you drink and can't hold your liquor, or if you're drinking 3, 4, 5 drinks every time we're together, that's a red flag to me. That's not something I want to tolerate or go there. We have a lifestyle difference, right? Let me think of some others, because I know there are others, but we've got to be really honest with ourselves. We've really got to be honest with ourselves. There are some men who don't have children and are not sure if they want to have children. Like, that's a huge lifestyle difference. So a woman dating a man who says, well, I'm not really sure. I would say no. Like, that's what I would tell myself in my head. I would not move forward with him thinking, well, he's going to change his mind, or he said he doesn't know. No, I don't know means no. Like, if a man is not saying, yes, I hope to be a father one day. Yes, I'd love to have a child or children. Like, if he's not able to vocalize that, then the answer is no. And I want you to take it as such. Or if a man, let's say, has 2 children by his ex-wife, right? They have 2 children. You meet him and you don't have any children. If he's unsure about having more, the answer is no. Like, if you want to have a child and he already has 2 and he says, I'm not sure if I want to have more kids, that means no. Okay, so that's what I want you to take it as. That means no, I really don't want to have any more children, because we should get a resounding, yeah, I'd be open to having another child or children. Yeah, I love kids. Like, we should hear that. But if we're like, I don't know if I should have any more, then the answer is no. Okay, But lifestyle is so, so important. We have to start prioritizing. My person and I have similar lifestyle. We have similar goals for how we live our life. One of the gentlemen that I dated a few years back, we very much clashed on the vacations that I took, the money that I spent when I went on vacation. We clashed about, homes. I like a nice big home. I like to entertain in my home. And he felt like that money should go somewhere else, or that money should be, I guess, put away for retirement, which, I was like, okay, no, like I'm alive right now and I want to enjoy my home and I want to entertain in my home. So we had some clashes over that. He felt like my lifestyle was too, I don't know if it was too expensive for him, or, because he lived very modestly. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if I am making much more money than I made 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I want my lifestyle to reflect that. Like just because I bought a home 10 years ago that was a small 2-bedroom rancher, I mean, that's what I could afford 10 years ago. And if now I can afford a 5-bedroom colonial, like I want to buy a 5-bedroom colonial. I don't want to stay in a 2-bedroom rancher. So we had some clashes over that. And that to me is a lifestyle issue. If you like going to brunch on Sunday, or if you get your nails done every other week, or get your hair done, and he's like, yeah, why you got to do all that? That's a lifestyle difference. Do not pass go with him, because that's always going to be an issue. In his mind, that money could be spent doing something else. That's not a good fit for you. You have to find someone who's like, oh yeah, sure, go for it. If that's what you need to pamper yourself or to feel good, yeah, you go for it. That's fine. That's perfect. We can budget for that. And the same with my housekeeper. I remember that same guy was like, you have a housekeeper? I'm like, yes, I'm a very busy person. And the last thing I have time for is cleaning my house. And in the time it would take me to clean my house, I can make 4 times, 5 times as much as what I pay the person to do it. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's not even good business sense. If I'm making $200 an hour and I'm paying her $25 an hour, like, why would I? No. So, and again, he just wasn't getting that logic. So the time I get back from having her clean the house, I can generate $200 or $300 an hour. So that's just good business sense, right? But again, he just couldn't wrap his head around it. Well, wow. I mean, and maybe he just thought, well, I guess, well-to-do people have a housekeeper. No, ordinary people like me have a housekeeper. People who are busy have a housekeeper. And we budget for that so that we can get that time back. So those are some good examples of your lifestyles are very different. Your lifestyles are very different. The way you travel, maybe the clothes that you buy, how much you spend on those clothes or shoes, children or no children, the size of your home, the type of car you drive, like all of those things are lifestyle decisions. And you've got to be with someone that it's somewhat similar. Like, it can't be so far off. So one of you can't be luxury and one of you can't be miserly. Like, that's never going to work. All you're going to do is argue all the time about money and what we're spending the money on. And he's saying you're wasting the money and you're saying you're penny pinching the money. No, try to find someone who shares a similar lifestyle, right? Because that, oh my gosh, it's going to make all the difference in you being with this person and really being happy. But for me, the biggest things that I can say for myself is right now, I'm an empty nester for the most part. My 21-year-old daughter lives here. She's my special needs daughter, but she's, very high functioning, and I'm able to kind of do whatever it is I want to do. If I need to go out of town, she'll stay with my mother. But for the most part, I kind of go where I want to go and do what I want to do. And I kind of want to continue doing that. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone that has little kids and they're like, oh, we have to get a sitter. Oh, I have to call my mom. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I can't go on a 7-day trip. I can't not get my kids for that long, and for the record, even when my children were younger, I still went on 7-day trips. So I still went on my weekly girls trip once a year. My children went with their dad. I called and checked on them, but I went on my trip. So I have to be with someone that has a kind of a similar mindset that, yes, we can go on a trip for 7 days and you'll see the children when you get back, and everything will be fine. They're with their other parent. I kind of need someone that has that similar mindset. Because here's the truth of the matter. If you attempt to go against this, if you say, you know what, we love each other, we want to be together, he's so amazing, I can move past it, I can be okay with it, I can live with it, all that's going to happen is one of you, you or him, will push down who you really are. You will suppress who you really are and how you really feel. And so I don't want anybody to do that. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to, put up with something that they don't want to put up with, or be something they don't want to be, or do something they don't want to do. No one should have to do that. Not when there are, 7.8 billion or trillion people. I can't remember however many people there are in the entire world. Like, find someone who has a similar lifestyle. And not exactly, right? Not exactly. Most of the men I date are extroverts. And so they do tend to go out more than I do, because I once a week, that's my limit for social interaction, for social activity, is once a week. But I have dated men who can go out 2, 3, 4 times a week. And so to that I say, okay, well, you go on and do that, or, oh, I'm going to hang out. I'm going to, going to happy hour, or I'm going skating, or I'm going to ride my bike with my bike crew or whatever. Okay, you go ahead and do that because once a week. Once a week that's all I can do as an introvert as far as the social situations. And so, it's worked out fine. I'll let them go off and do what they do, and they come back. They tell me all about it. I'm like, oh, great. That's perfectly fine. Now, if it was, every day they were hanging out with friends or colleagues, people at work, that might be a little too much for me, because I'm like, when will we see each other? But for the most part, I've dated men who are extroverts and I am introverted, and they need more social interaction than I do. So I don't have a problem with them going off and doing that. And as long as they don't have a problem with me, being at home and not feeling like I need to do that. Like, we have to have a mutual understanding and a respect for each other. So, okay. I am a meat eater. I am a carnivore by nature. I've never dated anyone who was vegetarian, but I have dated men who, they didn't have a love affair with meat like I did. So, they're like, man, you love meat. You eat a lot of meat. Or they've dabbled in vegetarianism. Oh, I've given up meat. Okay, well, I'm going to keep eating my meat. That's just what it is, Yeah, we're not all going to be perfectly aligned, but I want you to make sure that if it's on your don't want list, right? And the reason why it's on your don't want list is because you don't want it. So don't accept it. Don't accept it, because if you do, you're breaking your own heart. Like, you're the problem. You're accepting things that you clearly said you don't want, right? So, yeah, but the lifestyle is a big one. And I see women overlooking this all the time. They're overlooking basic lifestyle stuff. Here's another one. Okay, so here's a few more that I can name. I am not big on having a television in my bedroom. I have always been like that. I don't think in 20 plus years, the only exception was when I was married. Outside of that, like before I got married, no television in the bedroom. Definitely after my divorce, no television in the bedroom. I am just a no television in the bedroom type of gal. And I have my reasons for that. But I will be honest. And that's a question that I do ask men. I ask men that when I'm dating them. I'm like, so how do you feel about a television in the bedroom? Or I'll say, do you have a television in your bedroom? And that tells me something about them. And so I'm like, and here's the thing, ladies, this is going to sound mad petty. I get it. This is going to sound petty, but I don't know if I could bend on that. I don't know if I could bend on having the television in the bedroom, because to me, my bedroom is for rest and it's for lovemaking. I don't fall asleep to the television. Honestly, I don't even watch television that often. It's very rare that I even watch television. So it's just not something I want in a space that I believe is sacred. Like there must be some sacred space, and my bedroom is that space. So my bedroom, my studio, those are my sacred spaces. And I don't want television in my sacred spaces. So I don't even know if I could compromise on that. And so many people have told me, what? That's like not even that big of a deal. But to me, it is. It's like almost a spiritual thing that I cannot have. It's like bringing the outside world into my bedroom. I just can't do it. So I do ask that question. And a lot of men are like, okay, that's an interesting first date question. But it's something that I don't think I can bend on. I would let them have a television in every other room in the house but our bedroom. So that's a silly little thing, but it's my thing. I guess it's what makes me me. Let me think if there are any other ones. I probably could not be with someone who hates animals. I'm a big animal lover. So if I met a man and, we went on a date and I said, so how do you feel about, pets? Have you ever had a pet? Maybe as a kid? Ew. Oh God, no. Oh, animals do not belong in the house. Oh my God. Oh, I hate dogs. I hate cats. I don't think I could move past that. Like, no, that's who I am. That's in the very fabric of who I am as a feminine woman. I am a very earthy, natural woman, and animals is a part of that. My love of animals is a huge part of that. So that's definitely a lifestyle. And in my world, your home isn't complete without a pet. And so again, that's a lifestyle thing. So you've really got to be careful about this. Like, don't engage with men that are telling you, I don't like cats, or or maybe they're allergic to cats, right? I dated a guy who he was like, I don't have a problem with cats. I'm just really allergic to them. I'm really allergic to cats. And unfortunately, that's what it is. But I couldn't see myself dating him long term because I'm not going to get rid of my cats. So I don't want anything to happen to him in terms of his allergies, but that just means we wouldn't be a good fit. I'd have to have someone who could tolerate being around cats, being around dogs. I just need to have that. And thankfully, there are lots of people who love animals. There are lots of people who have pets. So those are just a couple more. But please, please, please determine what the lifestyle is that you want to have. And then I want you to find someone who is the best fit for you. Find someone who can give you that lifestyle and you can give him that lifestyle. Doesn't have to be a perfect fit, but it should be, very much so aligned in the major areas. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. If you have a question you'd like to have answered on the podcast, feel free to email it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. Please head on over to the website to find out more about my coaching services, all of the products that I have on my website, the brand new book, which is out on Amazon now, Choose Well, A Simple Formula to Determine the Best Man for You, all of the t-shirts that we have available, and just a lot of great information over on the website, www.betterlovemovement.com. If you have not followed me on Instagram, please do so today. Please like this video. If you are listening to or watching this on YouTube, please give me a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And thank you for joining me once again this week. And as always, stay open to love. for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.